Good morning, aspirants. Welcome to Daily Newspaper Analysis brought to you by Shankar IAS Academy. Today's date is 14th June 2025. These are the topics we are going to discuss in this video. First one about the Boeing 787, then shrimp farming in Pulicat Lake, in the India-US trade and strategic relations, and India-Bangladesh relationship, and then an article about the urbanization and challenge of ideal transit solutions. So these are the 5 articles we are going to discuss in this video. Now let us get into the discussion. Now look at this article. Several shrimp farms have been set up on Pulicat bird sanctuary and it is affecting the ecologically sensitive zone of this Pulicat lake. So several acres of shrimp farms have been made in Pulicat bird sanctuary and they are unregulated aquaculture, and this is affecting the migratory birds which use Pulicat bird sanctuary. So this is also a violation of coastal regulation zones. In this context, let us discuss about the Pulicat Lake, what is its geographical location, what is its importance, and what is the coastal regulation rules. So Pulicat Lake is a brackish water lagoon and it is the second largest lake in India after Chilika Lake. Chilika Lake is entirely in Odisha and this Pulicat Lake is in near Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, and it is in the border of these two states. So it is in the eastern coast of India. Rivers like Arni, Kalangi, Swarnamukhi drain into Pulicat Lake, and this Pulicat Lake is separated from Bay of Bengal by a narrow strip of island called Sriharikota Island, and this Sriharikota Island is an important ISRO launching site. So this is a satellite launching site of India. Pulicat Lake is ecologically significant and it is declared as a bird sanctuary. Many migratory birds which use the Central Asian flyway come to Pulicat Lake during migratory season. Birds like flamingos uses Pulicat bird sanctuary. Now this Pulicat bird sanctuary is being threatened by illegal shrimp farming and unregulated aquaculture. Echosensitive zones are declared by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, and it is declared under Environment Protection Act of 1986. An area is declared as echosensitive zone to make it as a shock absorber for protected areas. So around the protected areas like wildlife sanctuaries, national parks or bird sanctuaries, certain areas declared as a eco-sensitive zone, so they will act as a shock absorber. Activities like mining, industries, aquaculture, deforestation are regulated in the eco-sensitive zones. So they are usually around 10 km and they are made around the protected areas like national parks or wildlife sanctuaries. So these are the eco-sensitive zones which act as a shock absorbers for protected areas. Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, West Bengal, these eastern coastal states of India are involved in shrimp culture. So Coastal Aquaculture Authority is responsible for overseeing the shrimp culture, but there is increasing shrimp farming and illegal shrimp farming in the eastern coast, like the one we see in the news. Pulicat Lake is suffering from illegal shrimp farming. Many acres, more than 173 acres of Pulicat Lake are being used for shrimp culture. So this leads to issues like salination, loss of mangroves and violation of coastal regulation zone. Now what is a coastal regulation zone? These zones are notified under Environment Protection Act of 1986. The recent notification came in 2019. And the coastal areas are divided into 4 zones. Coastal Regulation Zone 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 has a highest protection, no activities allowed, it is ecologically sensitive. Zone 2, the urban and coastal settlements are allowed and they are regulated. In Zone 3, it means it is a rural coast and most of the activities are restricted here. Zone 4 means they are water bodies like lagoons or lakes, like the one we see in the news, the Pulicat Lake, and the fishing and aquaculture are regulated and restricted here. So these are the 4 zones notified under Coastal Regulation Zone Notification 2019. Now look at this MCQ. The term blue economy includes which of the following activities? Offshore renewable energy, shrimp aquaculture, deep sea mining, coral reef tourism. So all of these options are correct. So the correct answer is option C. With this, let us move on to the next news article. Now look at this article. Recently, Professor Muhammad Yunus, who is the chief advisor of Bangladesh interim government, has postponed the country's national elections. So the Bangladesh national elections has been postponed until April 2026. He also made a symbolic July proclamation. This move of Muhammad Yunus has created many concerns because major political parties like Awami League has been banned in the country. Many fear that Bangladesh democratic space is shrinking and Bangladesh is slowly moving towards authoritarianism. India is also watching this situation closely because we had close ties with Bangladesh and this will be implication for regional stability. So in this context, let us discuss about the history of India-Bangladesh relationship and what is the current situation meant to India. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, India's and Bangladesh ties grew from 2009 to 2024. India and Bangladesh maintained strong relationship during the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's leadership. Bangladesh helped India by acting against insurgent groups who are operating in the northeast. Both countries also signed a treaty on sharing Ganges water, but the treaty on sharing the Teesta water remains unresolved. The Ganges Water Treaty, which was signed in 1996, is an important treaty between two countries. Both countries also reconnected the old railway lines, opened inland waterways, and expanded the cooperation in the energy sector. The milestone was the Land Boundary Agreement, which was signed in 2015. And this land boundary agreement settled border issues between two countries and it also improved the people to people relations. So these are the important contributions and milestones achieved during the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's leadership from 2009 to 2024. After 2024, with the toppling of Sheikh Hasina's government, the current regime faces many concerns and it is also a concern for India. This government lacks proper constitutional backing and there are signs of growing authoritarianism in Bangladesh. So this creates many uncertainty for India's long-term engagement with Bangladesh. The political vacuum which was created after 2024, this has led to extremist groups like Jamaatul Mujahideen Bangladesh or other insurgent groups and they are posing a risk to the safety of northeastern states. The unrest in Bangladesh may also increase the illegal migration to India. Additionally, a large amount of Rohingya population in Bangladesh remains vulnerable and the worsening of situation in Bangladesh might lead them to India. So there will be a possibility of migration of Rohingyas into India and this is a major concern for India's border security. Another important concern is that Bangladesh may grow closer to China. So if India remains distant from Bangladesh and their ties between Bangladesh and China might grow. Bangladesh is already getting investments from China in the infrastructure projects. So this is also an important concern for India. Bangladesh is an important part of India's neighborhood first policy. Bangladesh plays a central role in regional initiatives like BBIN, that is Bhutan, Bangladesh, Nepal, India, BIMSTEC and also in Act East policy and in Sagar Maritime Mission. So in all these regional initiatives like BBIN, BIMSTEC, Sagar Maritime Mission, Act East policy, Bangladesh plays an important role. Geographically also, Bangladesh connects India's mainland to northeastern states. And Bangladesh also lies along the Bay of Bengal, which means it is crucial for India's Indo-Pacific strategy. India also wants to counter China's growing influence in the region, especially by regulating the China's Belt and Road projects. Now, what will be the way forward for India? India should follow a balanced and careful approach. India should support a return of democracy in Bangladesh without interfering too much. At the same time, India must also remain alert to the security risk. We should increase the border surveillance and strengthen the intelligence sharing on terrorism. We should also use regional groups like BIMSTEC, Indian Ocean Regional Association to keep Bangladesh engaged in our India-led activities. India should also continue supporting Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh and work with Asian countries. Importantly, India should not rely on the past ties with Awami League. Since Awami League is banned in Bangladesh, India should also create a new ties with the new government. India should also continue working on the infrastructure projects and cross-border projects like BBIN, motor vehicle agreement, inland waterways and infrastructure projects. So this will bind India and Bangladesh. So this is a mains practice question regarding this topic. Interested aspirants can use it. With this, let us move on to the next news article. Now look at this article. Last month, US court declared some of the tariffs introduced by Donald Trump as unconstitutional. These tariffs are being imposed on various goods including steel and aluminum from India. Even though this ruling has been passed or banned by the higher court, the tariffs are still in place. For India, this means that the exports of steel and aluminum to US will now face double the previous tariff. India and US are considering a trade deal, and this trade deal deadline is approaching on July 8. So India is under pressure to quickly finalize an agreement. So whether this trade deal will be in the best interest of India or not. So we have to wait and see. The situation has raised concerns over the limits of executive powers in US and how this executive power in US is affecting countries like India. So this is what this article is talking about. So in this context, we are going to see about some key agreements between India and US. First, about the defense cooperation. India and US have signed several defense deals this year. US will supply India with F-35 stealth fighter jets. So this will significantly boost India's air power. They have also renewed a 10-year defense framework agreement. So this means it guides long-term military cooperation between the two countries for another 10 years. India also plans to buy 6 more P-8I aircraft for maritime surveillance. So this will help us to monitor the Indian Ocean activity. These are the new trade deals for joint manufacturing of defense equipment and sharing of advanced defense technology. Next, about the cooperation in counter-terrorism and extradition. US has agreed to extradite Tahawur Rana, a key accused in 26/11 Mumbai terror attack, and this is a major development in India-US counter-terrorism partnership. So both countries have agreed to cooperate more closely in fighting terrorism and also in tackling the organized crime network. Next, in the cooperation in trade and economy, India and US have set an ambitious target to increase their bilateral trade to 500 billion by the year 2030. So a new bilateral trade agreement is expected to be signed by this year 2025. Indian companies have already invested over 7 billion in US. So they have created more than 3,000 jobs in US. Regarding energy and nuclear cooperation, India is planning to increase its import of oil and natural gas from US. So this will help to ensure energy security and reduce the dependence on other countries. US will also support India's effort to become a member of International Energy Agency. So after becoming a member of International Energy Agency, this will give India a stronger voice in global energy decisions. Under Civil Nuclear Agreement, which is known as 123 Agreement, two countries, that is India and US, will work on building American designed nuclear reactors in India. So USA will also collaborate on developing next generation nuclear technologies like modular reactors, advanced reactors in India. So this is about the energy nuclear cooperation. We have seen about the trade and economic cooperation, and we have seen about the defense cooperation. So these are the important deals between India and US. So with this, let us conclude the discussion. Now look at this article. As India aspires to become a Viksit Bharat by 2047, urbanization is expected to be a key engine of our economic growth. Projections indicate that by 2060, over 60% of Indian population will reside in urban areas. This demographic shift will place immense pressure on our urban infrastructure, especially on the public transportation systems. So this public transportation system are essential for ensuring the mobility, reducing congestion and lowering emissions. We should also support the inclusive urban development. So this is what this editorial article is talking about. In this context, let us discuss about the important points from this editorial article. Recognizing the aim of Viksit Bharat, the government has introduced several initiatives which are aimed at improving the urban infrastructure, especially the urban transit. PM E-Bus Seva, which was launched in the budget 2025, this program seeks to deploy 10,000 electric buses across various cities. Similarly, another program called PM E-Drive scheme. So this program aims to promote clean mobility, and this program aims to procure 14,000 e-buses and almost 1 lakh electric rickshaws. On the other hand, there has been a continued expansion of metro rail network, especially in Tier 1 cities. However, these schemes face various limitations and challenges in terms of accessibility, affordability, and also in terms of sustainability. These schemes and programs has various challenges. So look at this table here. These are some of the important schemes to improve the urban transit, and they are announced in 2025 budget. According to Economic Survey of 2025, only 37% of India's urban residents have access to public transport. This is significantly lower than countries like Brazil and China, where there is accessibility of 50%. So the shortfall is due to multiple challenges in India's urban transit ecosystem. Firstly, the metro system. Despite their appeal and more metro networks are made in Tier 1 cities, they are highly capital intensive. So they have high operational cost and they also often struggle with low ridership. Secondly, the bus infrastructure is grossly inadequate. While urban India needs approximately 2 lakh buses, only around 35,000 buses are in operational. So the transition from CNG to e-buses have raised cost concerns. There is not enough number of buses, and also this transition to e-buses have also raised concerns. So the private sector participation remains limited in this bus infrastructure ecosystem. So these are the challenges in urban transit. Moreover, India's urban infrastructure planning suffers from the lack of holistic vision. The current focus is skewed towards metro and e-buses, and the focus of urban infrastructure is neglecting the cost-effective alternatives like trams and trolley buses. A detailed life cycle cost analysis over 70 years shows that trams generate 45% profit. E-buses record 82% loss due to high operational and replacement cost. So trams also give better climate goals and offer scalability, and they are sustainable. But the policy adaptation and adoption of trams remains very limited. India must adapt a data-driven and context-specific urban transit planning. Decisions on infrastructure investment should be guided by the life cycle cost analysis, and it also should be based on the long-term profitability. Trams and trolley buses should be prioritized for high-density corridors. Subsidies must shift from recurring operational support to capital investment. We should also improve the last mile connectivity through e-rickshaws and feeder buses, and the bus infrastructure should also be expanded and more number of buses should be deployed. Private participation should also be incentivized and encouraged. Private participation can be encouraged through viability gap funding and innovative public-private partnership models. So in conclusion, India's urban transport strategy must go beyond one-size-fits-all approach. In order to ensure the inclusive, sustainable and resilient urbanization and infrastructure, our policy should focus more on diversifying the transit modes, not just intensifying the metro rail networks and the bus infrastructure. We should also go towards other alternative options. So a smart and green transport network will be foundational for realizing our vision of Vikshit Bharat. So this is all about this news article discussion. And this is a mains question regarding this topic. Interested aspirants can use it. Now look at this article. Boeing 7878 Dreamliner. It is a modern wide-body aircraft which is designed to make flying more efficient and comfortable. So recent air crash has raised concerns about this Boeing 787 Dreamliner. It is a wide-body aircraft designed to make flying more efficient and comfortable. It first entered into commercial service in 2011. It was widely called a game changer in aviation industry. Unlike older planes, the Dreamliner uses advanced materials like carbon composites. So this has made the plane very lighter. It also relies more on electric systems, which is why it is often nicknamed the electric aircraft. These features, along with the fuel efficient engines, so it makes around 20% more efficient than previous aircraft models. So the electric systems combined with the fuel efficient engines makes it more energy efficient aircraft. One of the biggest advantage of this Boeing 787 is that it allows airlines to offer non-stop flights between many cities. So this can avoid the traditional stopovers in hub airports. This point-to-point model has made long-distance travel more convenient. The aircraft also produces less noise and improves both passenger comfort and fuel efficiency. However, this aircraft has not been without many problems. There are many challenges. In 2013, serious issues were reported with its lithium ion batteries. These batteries overheated and led to temporary grounding of entire fleet worldwide. Over the years, Boeing has faced criticism for quality control programs during the aircraft production. Many whistleblowers, including some recently in 2024, have raised alarms about the flaws in aircraft body parts. So these whistleblowers have raised concerns about possible risk to the aircraft safety. Most recently, the aircraft Dreamliner Boeing 787 faced the major accident when Air India flight Air India 171 crashed near Ahmedabad airport. So this has added to the growing concerns about Boeing safety practices. With this, we have come to the end of the discussion. If you like the video, please share it with your friends and don't forget to subscribe to Shankar IAS Academy YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.